will excuse my English.
No, you're fine.
Approximative English. Just 4 questions about when did you discover your sickness?
When did I discover it? Before '95 World Cup. But I went to the World Cup thinking that it will sort itself out, but it never really did. And then 1997 I underwent a drug regime which was called the Ponticelli regime, and which consists of anti-cancer cell tablets to high dosage of prednisone, and also with a product that most people will be familiar with, cyclosporin, high dosage of cyclosporin, and it was an 8-month period, and it was difficult, but it had to be done, and at first it slowed the deterioration of the kidney function, and it's only slowed it down for a couple of years.
But less than 1 year after the World Cup, in fact, you had the first symptoms, and even before.
Even before, yeah, because my hemoglobin was never high. Was never high enough. I played my whole rugby career under 100 for for my blood cell count. Because if I am correct, it's supposed to be like 120 for a low male. And when I stopped playing, I was at 57. When I was playing, I was never higher than 90.
So after the sickness of the kidney, you had to go on dialysis?
Dialysis?
So how did you feel this difference just in 1 month between the incredible semi-final between England and after the discovery of your sickness, and you had to go on dialysis?
I found that it was I think it was hard to accept. I know it was hard to accept, but I knew that day was going to come, so I was prepared for it, as good as I could be prepared. But I never gave up. I even tried to play while I was on dialysis, and that was difficult as it is, because I was dialysing in New Zealand, in Auckland, and I'll hop on a plane, fly down and do training, then I fly back that night, go and do dialysis, and then the next morning I'm on the first flight back to do the next training, then I fly back to Auckland, and then I'm on the next flight back to do training. So it was like that, it was repetitive like that, but it was just too hard. And then after a while I couldn't feel my legs.
So the solution was a transplantation?
Yes. Yeah, the solution for me was easy. It was get the transplant done, and try and live a normal life, which was hard to do, because my life was never normal. But the hardest part was that my life was never the same, because I couldn't walk properly, and I relied on someone else to take me to the bathroom, to take me to the kitchen, to get me my food, and to get me to just stand up. And for a young man to try and accept that is hard. The things that you take for granted when you wake up, just putting your feet on the ground and standing up, those little things became very important, because I couldn't do them.
And the transplantation was from a friend?
From a friend? Yes, it was.
From a living donor, so it's...
It was given to me by a great friend who went through the lengthy process of getting the kidney, being able to donate his kidney to me as a live donor. He's not a relative, he's a friend. But now we consider each other brothers, and we know how we both feel. We know exactly what the story is with what is going on, and we can feel each other, which is a great bond that we have. We are so similar, it's unbelievable. It's almost like we're twins of each other. And I think that's why the transplant was such a success, is that there's this bond, a close bond between me and him.
And the legal condition in New Zealand, it's possible to have a transplantation from a living donor?
Yes,
it's not
not a relative. Yeah, they have really strict rules on how it's dealt with. There's no money to be exchanged between the two people. There's no coercion. What they do is put the donor through a series of tests. And that's including a psychological evaluation with me as well in the same room, and then him by himself. Then there's the antigen match, tissue matching, and then also preparing him to realise when the kidney leaves his body and it's put into me, is that the kidney is mine, it's not his anymore. Making sure that he knows what he's getting himself into. But even more than that was that the day of the transplant, I went to his room and I said to him, you still can go home today. You know, I won't be angry, I won't be disappointed. I want you to truly make sure that you're doing this because you want to. And he said, you know, I have spoken with my family, I have 2 healthy kidneys, and I know that you need one, and that's why I'm here. And what do you say to a friend who does that, who gives you a second chance of life?
And after the transplantation, even it's difficult to compare between post memories and this new life. How did you feel just the day after the transplantation? I didn't feel too much different, apart from that I was really heavy, and from the fluid that they flood you with to get the kidney going. And but I was very excited, you know, because I knew this kidney was going to change my life, and it did. I went from a person who couldn't walk to a person who could walk, and in 2 weeks I was sitting on a bicycle. And you played?
And then a year after that, I was playing professional rugby in Cardiff, and then I went back to North Harbour and played there. So you know, it's for me, it's, you know, I've won the World Cup that I needed to win, and that was to get myself walking again. When I had all the specialists say to me that I'll spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair, and you know what? I set my mind to it, and when I had the transplant, everything became a reality. And you know, I want to show people that there is hope. I am living, walking, breathing proof of what a difference a transplant can do, but also the research and development that scientists, pharmaceutical people who have done their job by developing all these new drugs to help me keep my kidney healthy, stop it from being rejected by my body. And you know, that's where Roche comes in, because they're one of the big key ingredients in that area.
In France, there's a lot of time between a person can wait for 2, 3, or 4 years before they can.
And some even longer.
And from living donor, it's not so developed than in New Zealand. So, what message could you give to the French people waiting for a kidney or for another organ?
I think it's more, don't lose faith. Don't lose faith in yourself. Believe that it's going to happen for you. And but also at the same time, I think people need to be open-minded about a lot of things. And I'm not just talking about the kidney patients. I think around the rules of what transplantation will do. I'm not saying that you have to pay someone to do this, because the gift that you're giving, it's a gift. You're not expecting anything from it, and there shouldn't be any coercion. In New Zealand, all the tests that we do and so forth, they make sure that there is no coercion in any way, and by the transplant itself. And I think it will affect the transplant, because if it's not given freely, then I truly believe that it's not going to work for you. Because if someone gives you that gift and you feel that gift, it's one of the most amazing things, because I feel it's one of the leading causes for me, for myself, that the reason why the transplant was such a success. I don't have any side effects from the drugs, as most people commonly have. So they have the shakes, diarrhea and so forth, and the list goes on. I don't have any of those side effects. So, when it, I believe it's down to that the donor that had given me the kidney grant had given it to me so freely with so much love that it actually has helped me through the process.
Do you support transplantation in New Zealand? Or?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do support it wholeheartedly. If it wasn't for a transplant, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, and I wouldn't be able to walk as far as I did or run as fast as I did. So this is for me. Yeah, I support it as much as I can, and I'm an ambassador for the kidney kids in New Zealand, but also cure kids to Ronald McDonald House. But I'm also an ambassador for kidney transplantation in Australia as well. So it's about giving back. Because I've got so much out of rugby, I got so much out of my short life that I've had. I've crammed a lot of things in there. I think I did a lot more living in my last 32 years than I think most people would have done in their lifetime. But you know what? If anything, I wouldn't change anything for the world, because it's made me me.
Wonderful. So I know you have several interviews. I just will ask you a favor, because for me it's like Christmas. Thank you very much. Just have one or two signature on signature.
Yeah, that's fine.
And even a picture with you. If it's
that's fine.